Namaste, and it's good to see everybody there. I wanted to do a quick video because I keep encountering this thing of the law of attraction, and it's a real popular thing out there now. And it's a bit disturbing in some ways when you see ones. I was watching the TV the other day that was talking about the man that ran the sweat lodge things, and 3 people died. And then people there are saying, well, they were attracted to wanting to move on, and it's fine, and I would still go to him. And that's when I see it being used in this way, and to sit there and say that, well, people that are hit with devastation, therefore that's in their consciousness and that's drawn to them, earthquakes or tornadoes or any of these things, that they're attracted by this law of attraction. And that is such nonsense. These things happen because the earth is in imbalance, because man has, in fact, done so many things to change the weather of the earth with their actions, global warming, etc., all of those things. But you can't blame it on people in those specific areas where these problems are happening. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the law of attraction, that, they're saying that it's, if your mind is focused on this and you have this desire, then it's going to manifest. Even to go so far as one person was saying that, well, if you're in your mind that you're going to get a check and not a bill, you'll get a check instead of a bill. That is such nonsense. Yes, to some degree, it's true. If your focus, and this is how some phobias and things will develop, if one is nervous and starts to look for things, they will find things. This represents this, and they go off on a tangent and start to develop some problems, such as if you're nervous about something and you begin to look, you could develop this phobia that people are watching you or whatever. Or if you start seeing things, and I'm going to look for positive things, then any little positive thing that happens, automatically you'll jump on that bandwagon and say, see, it's because I had these positive thoughts, and you'll be continuing to look for those things that are going to justify whatever it is you're doing. Now, if this law of attraction worked like people are wanting to say that it does, when you're a child, you have absolutely pure desires, and you may have wanted something more than anything in the world. Did you get it? 9 out of 10, no. You didn't. What happened to the law of attraction then? Does it not work for children? Does it only work for adults? Same thing as some of the negatives one builds up. That's done in a spiritual sense. A lot of the things that happen are that one starts in the New Age thing, starts having this thing. Can you get him off of there? You start saying, oh, I need to put a white light around myself, and then you start focusing on the negative. What happened before you started to put this white light around yourself? There was no problem. But the minute you start putting this white light around yourself, oh, all of a sudden it's loud, this negative stuff is coming against me, and then you're drawing in the absolute thing that you're fearful of. So you're doing this as a way to protect yourself, and by the order of trying to protect yourself, you become less safe. So again, you're trying to use the white light as a law of attraction that's going to help keep you safe, but errantly you're creating the very opposite of what you're looking for. You had no problem before you started using the white light. How come all of a sudden now you've got a problem? Because you've gone from being relaxed about things into fear mode. Same thing you get with a lot of these teachings like Kabbalah, etc. Oh, you have to put the red string around and it's going to keep you safe, etc., etc. Again, a mental fabrication. And one starts to draw in the very opposite, unfortunately. Okay, birds of a feather flock together. You start getting with people of the same mindset, you start feeding off of each other, and start pulling in a lot of this drama. Okay, so yes, in some ways it does work to some degree. If you have a more positive attitude in life, you're going to see things in a more positive light. But you can go overboard and to go into denial mode. Okay, that's not helping anything. You know, this is why it's always said the middle way. You know, that's why Buddha stressed the middle way. Same thing, you have to have a middle way. You can't go off on this bender and think, oh, that anything that I want to create, I can create. Okay? So, let's start to look and understand this a little better as to what of it has a basis in fact and what doesn't. You know, you can drive yourself, you know, into endless dramas with this. I think that when this first started coming out was quite a few years ago when they had that, oh, what was the name of that book?
The
And that,
Secret?
no, it was way before The Secret. Way before The
I know
Secret.
exactly which one it is. Celestine Prophecy.
Celestine Prophecies, right. When Celestine Prophecies began to come out, everybody was looking for everything that was interconnected, and this will happen, and that will happen, and every little thing had to have some big major importance behind it. And then you start running yourself in this big circle. Okay, so anyway, begin to relax in life and be more with this moment, what's happening now, versus this projection of what I need it to be, or this drama about past. Okay, let go of the past drama, let go of the trying to project it into future things, let go of trying to create something and turn it into another mental spin, another denial, another story, another fantasy. Okay, that's not going to serve your best interests. Okay? So that's all I wanted to say on that. That the law of attraction holds some truth, but it's not this big ultimate truth, you know, that you are going to create and be a co-creator with God. You know, again, this is another one of the New Age spins on traditional wisdom. They've taken things out of context and turned it into something that it's not, because it sounds good to ego in the moment, and ego's going to run with it and is going to miss the opportunity for genuine truth and genuine wisdom to arise that can take one off the wheel of karma rather than making a better spin. So that's what you're trying to do with this, make a better spin to the wheel of karma, but you're not getting off or out of anything with these types of attitudes and mindsets and projections. Okay? So rather than trying to be a co-creator and being in control of your universe, you have to find out that your universe needs to go and that the universe that's prior to the universe, that which is prior to the universe, that Brahman, that essence, divine is, has everything under control. Quit trying to control it and throw a wrench in the works, for God's sakes. Get out of the way and let it be in its natural harmony. Okay? Because rather than fixing things, you're just screwing it up endlessly with your errant desires and everybody's personal truths, which are not truths, they're opinions that one has, but there's only one truth, and that is that which is prior to the transient realm, because that is unchanging, unborn, before death, before birth, unchanging is. That is truth. The rest of it is gradient, transient, comes and goes, and depending on the mind spin at the moment will be seen in so many different ways. Okay, so just recognize that you've got different colored glasses on that are creating your truths, and that in order to get beyond those and the opinions, it takes remaining internal, it takes remaining and allowing all of these ideas, ideals, projections to still, and then it all goes and just deconstructs until what remains is that is. And once that is entered, this life story of the past and the projections into future end, okay? They have no more validity any longer. One's not driven by any of it. One's not looking to make it change. There's nothing to change at that point. And all the baggage that one has carried, one has seen it for what it is. And it no longer holds any weight. Okay? So somebody asked me today again about, so I might as well put this in there as well, about vasanas. What happens with vasanas in enlightenment? Or vasanas are like the tendencies that one has. And I said the best way that I can explain it is that the vasanas, the tendency one comes in with, and one develops these tendencies of persona along the way. Well, these things play out, but the one is no longer driven by any of these things. Okay, as a personality, one may still be seen to have their characteristics that are not going to dramatically change with enlightenment. Okay, that's just the tendency of that body form, and it just plays out. But as far as having these vasanas, these desires, these driving desires, that's at an end. One has no more of those longer, those driving desires which are in place, that if one does not accomplish or does not have, etc., is going to be absolutely miserable. You know, all of these types of tendencies no longer hold water. Okay, so that's the best way that I can explain what happens when enlightenment takes place, that the tendencies of the mind stills, the mind is not any longer in motion, therefore these vasanas and tendencies of the mind and all the drama that goes with it is at an end. Okay? The spontaneous happenings of the body form, as far as personality is concerned, you'll see probably pretty much the same type of personality that plays out. That's all. So I hope this has helped a few people. Please stay in the middle road. Understand that yes, mind can be an enemy or it can be a friend up to a point. Don't get caught up in this stuff. But just be in the moment, sit with things, see it for what it is and what it's not, okay? And let's work towards getting off the wheel of karma, not trying to attempt to create a bigger, better spin. Okay? Thank you for that. Namaste. Have a great day. Bye.